Texas Washington will wind up being one of the best in program history. Last Sunday against Tulsa, her 20th career assist. That is a new program record. Nick, how have you seen her role with this team develop?
You know, at first we were kind of worried because we didn't know where that firepower was going to come from. But as we just mentioned, there's so much firepower on the Sooners offense, and she's back to doing what she does best, and that's passing that ball. I think that assist tally may get to 30 potentially if we can see some goals tonight.
As for Louisiana Tech, one of their best is a holdover as well. That's Madison Penson. She's a third-year player and a team captain. She has a goal and 2 assists this year. What all does she provide the Bulldogs?
So this is the first time in her career that she's registered a goal or an assist. She's really taken this leadership role to heart, and she's really bringing a different type of playing style to this La Tech team.
They will need a big contribution from her tonight to pull off an upset on the road in the first ever meeting on the soccer pitch between Oklahoma and Louisiana Tech. We'll call it for you next on SEC Network Plus. Bulldogs are all set to go. Their first trip to Norman, Oklahoma, trying to pull an upset on the road against the 4-0 Sooners. Louisiana Tech, coached by Steve Volz. He's in his 5th season. Here's a look at their starting lineup. Mary Helen Buford, 1,000-plus minutes in her career on that back line. The goalkeeper is Cadence Rutledge. She has played every minute in goal this season. And this is a very youthful roster. 18 of 25 players are either freshmen or sophomores, but they feel good about them. And in a year or two, they could be really dangerous. As far as the Sooners are concerned, what a season it has been for Naomi Clark. 5 goals, 10 assists. She's taken 13 shots. She is tied for first in the SEC with those 5 goals, 9 goals for her career. And coming off a brace in her first career start, the freshman from here in Norman, El Canty. Those 2 goals, the first 2 of her career as well. Back in goal for the Sooners, as always, is Caroline Duffy, who has 2 assists this year as a keeper. Overcast skies, not really a threat of rain, and the temperature, a very nice 72 degrees. The pitch is in great shape. A lot of rain in the Norman area the last 2 or 3 days. Oklahoma looking to move to 5-0. Would be the first time since 2002. They come in ranked number 20 this week. They are ranked for the first time since 2017. And there is head coach Matt Mott, his team getting a road win at Tulsa this past week. He's really talked a lot this year about off-season preparation. He said everybody left in the summer and got a lot better. And Nick, maybe more than anything, there's depth. So that means if a player gets hurt, you're in good shape. But there's also competition for playing time, and that has made things really, really competitive in practices.
You know, as a coach, that's the most exciting thing, is that when players don't have that competition, they get a little stagnant. And so the fact that he can go into every practice and really battle, I mean, that is just a blessing to have as a coach.
Bulldogs will have first touch. Another thing about this is the cloud cover is obstructing the sunlight, which is usually in the eyes of the keeper, who is back in the east goal. And I see Oklahoma's changed things up a little bit, Nick. They typically will occupy the west goal to stay out of the sun in the first half, but with the cloud cover, they're going to take that goal down there on the east end. Not that it makes much of a difference, but it is one thing to note. This is Drew Legan set to throw it in, one of the talented freshmen who's come in and earned so much playing time right away as a Sooner. That touched by Clark, going to trickle all the way to the back. And Alex Drolet, she's a freshman from Quebec City, Quebec, but she's 20 years old. The way that the schooling sets up when you come from Canada to the United States. There was an inadvertent handball that hit the hand of Oklahoma's Michelle Pack, so it'll be a free kick here for the Bulldogs.
One of the things I would have liked to see there is I would like to see Kiefer would have pressed the keeper just a little bit quicker. One of the things that when we speak to Coach Matt Mott, he thinks what has helped them be so dynamic is that they have just been so relentless on the final third of their half. I mean, they have just been just at the other team, all their defensive, just the goalkeeper just getting after them second after second. And so I want to see them continue that high press from the very start today.
Bulldogs will have a throw in from over here on the near side. Oklahoma getting healthier as well. Cassie Clifton would be available to play for the first time this year. And she was out there warming up. We'll see if she sees some time, but we expect that she will here tonight. Running throw in taken there by Pensum, and it's cleared out top by Dendis. Out to midfield and taken in by Mary Helen Buford. She was a walk-on who has become a starter. What a great story, the sophomore from Shreveport with the Bulldogs. Rutledge driving this one away. This is how Louisiana Tech wants to play, Nick. They really want to organize from the back on the foot of their keeper, Rutledge. This ball straight forward for Grace Clay. 1v1 against the Sooners' Allie Lacanole, and it's chipped out of bounds. Early corner kick coming for Louisiana Tech.
And one of the positives for Louisiana Tech is when they can play out of the back, it lets everyone get set up. And so that you see that's what they want to do, and that's why the Sooners have to press early if they want to kind of disrupt the La Tech offense.
Steve Volz is in his 5th season as the head coach at Louisiana Tech. They've been to the Conference USA tournament a couple of occasions. Louisiana Tech will be joining the Sun Belt Conference no later than July of 2027. This one bends past everyone. Clear to the backside and intercepted, taken out. Hadley Morrell charges forward and plays it ahead to Kayla Kiefer. Nicely turned and dealt. Dendis up the left flank. Dendis trying to serve it across, but it's deflected. That one's going to ricochet out of bounds. Sooners will take a throw in. Beautifully played there at midfield by Kiefer that time, Nick.
And, you know, I thought Kiefer was kind of in no man's land for a second because she was looking to play that ball across the field, but she didn't have any runners. And then the last second, you just see Dendis making that run. So Kiefer has a beautiful little touch there, and she spins around and plays a beautiful ball in there for Dendis.
That one cleared out by Reagan Roberts, freshman from Prosper, Texas. Kiefer trying to serve it across, but kind of mishits it. It'll go wide in back of the goal. Oklahoma had a record crowd here of over 3,200 fans. They had the Pride of Oklahoma, the marching band, here a week ago. Just an amazing environment for soccer. Tonight there are a few who are trickling in. Some of the RVs in the Lloyd Noble Center parking lot getting ready for football season opener on Saturday evening across the Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium. This ball intercepted by Riley Brown, but she's called for a foul. Riley Brown's off to a great start. She's played the most minutes on this Oklahoma roster other than the keeper, Duffy. She's really been an integral part of that back row, Nick.
I think she was someone that they expected to be good, but they didn't know just how good. And she has just been just a stopgap for the Sooners defense.
She is. She's transferred from the University of Washington, senior from Tucson. Second free kick chance here, headed down, and then finally collected by Duffy. Shawnee Sirota got to it, but couldn't get a real clean look at it. Sirota's a player who spent time with the Israeli youth national team. She's a native of Israel. Here comes Washington charging forward. That'll be just bumped out of bounds. I think it was Sirota who came over and cleared that one out. Alexis Washington put so much pressure on opposing defenses. Here's Kiefer. Serving it across. Nobody's home for Oklahoma, though. Clatters forward off the foot of Clay, and Brown will let it roll out for an Oklahoma throw-in. Matt Mott talking about his team. You know, they've won these matches and scored 4 goals, but in 3 of their first 4 matches, Nick, they've been tied at 1 apiece. So they've had to respond at some point, whether it was at halftime or after an opponent scored a goal. And he said he's really been happy with those responses.
I think one of the things that he's just really happy about is that they kind of feel out the team, kind of see how they want to get played. And then once they make their adjustments, they just really get after them. They finally figured out, hey, this is the key that's going to unopen the box. And then boom, and they go. But I think Matt Mott is still wanting to say, hey, how can we open that box just a little bit quicker? How can we do this to where we're not having to wait to potentially the second half to win a ball game?
They said maybe could have scored even more than the 16 goals they have, which leads the SEC.
And I think that's just what I mentioned. How can they do that quicker? How can they have scored one of the fastest goals in program history, you know, when they played OSU, which was in the first minute. But it's like, how can we get more of that? How can we score in the first minute, the 15th minute, the 20th? And, you know, how can they have those 3-goal barrages like they do in the second half? How can they have those more across the game?
See what they have done, averaging 4 goals per game. They averaged about 1.5 a season ago. They're on pace to score about 72 goals on the year. Now, obviously, you're going to get into conference play, and it'll become more challenging, but they've set a torrid pace in the early stages. Washington driving this one toward Naomi Clark. Deflected down and taken back there by the keeper, Cadence Rutledge. She is a redshirt senior from Yorba Linda, California. Spent a season at Portland University, and Steve Volt said she has really earned their #1 keeper spot. She played every minute in goal, made 10 starts last year. Drolet heads this one forward, but right to Alexis Washington for Oklahoma. Stop and start here by Kiefer, driving it across, and it skims across. It goes off the head of Alexandria Witherspoon and out of bounds. Witherspoon, sophomore from Milton, Georgia, redshirted last year, and out of bounds from an Oklahoma throw-in. No score, 8 minutes in. Little touch to Dendis, who cannot keep her feet. Bulldogs gain brief clearance. Brown's going to re-attack, though, for the Sooners. Trying to drop it over the top for Dendis. Onside, Dendis just missed on the near left post. I don't know how she stayed onside that time.
I think the more important thing was, I don't think Dendis realized how much time she had. I think that was a beautiful ball there by Brown with the left foot. Sees the ball, boom. She is onside by at least a yard at this point in time, and I think she thinks she's off, so she rushes a little bit, but she was completely onside, and she had more time than what she expected. I think if she would have just breathed a little bit, then it would have already been 1-0 for the Sooners.
Dendis regroups. Sooners mount a counterattack. Hadley Morrell, and now Kiefer. Kiefer angles to the middle. Leaves it back there. Pack is all alone with it. Pack so good, like she's got the ball attached to a string on her cleat. Washington, beautiful move. Angling up the flank, cut off, and out of bounds off of Washington, they say. So a goal kick coming. So Alexis Washington got that assist. It was number 20 for her career, a new Oklahoma record against Tulsa the other day. And as Matt Mott said, it was just perfectly slotted. But afterward, you know, she's not big on promoting herself or speaking or anything really in public. And he said, I'll give you a choice in the circle in the aftermath of the game. He said, you can either speak, you can talk, or you can dance, one way or the other. So she chose to talk. She said, I'll talk. And she said to her teammates, thank you for scoring on all of my passes, in her very understated way.
I mean, that just speaks to the kind of character she is. I mean, she is someone who just leads by example. She's not one of those leaders that's just going to go out there and just be in your face. She says, hey, I let my playing on the pitch happen, and she has definitely done that in her Sooner career.
A lot. And probably quite a bit more to go. That one off the leg of Sirota. Nice one touch there from Kiefer to Hadley Morrell. Morrell's ball cut off by Witherspoon. And then Dendis comes back to play it for the Sooners. Beautiful ball served to Kiefer. She's got a look. Across it comes, and Brown scores. Beautifully done. Kiefer assisting Naomi Clark. There's the flip celebration. It is her 6th goal of the year, and the Sooners break on top 1-0.
I think one of the highlights of this game so far is how much Kiefer has touched the ball. Kiefer was just in so much space, and I mean, Clark's never going to miss that. I mean, that is just a beautiful pass across. But the build-up play, Kiefer has just been on every Sooner attack so far. She is starting this game super hot. And Clark continuing what she does best, scoring goals. And this time, rather than one flip, we get to see 2.
You know, Oklahoma women's gymnastics coach KJ Kindler was here for the opener. I'm not sure she got to stay and see the celebration backflip of Naomi Clark. She's got to become aware of it, though. That's solid.
I mean, are we able, can we do both sports at the same time at this point? I mean, if we keep on getting goals scored by Clark and we keep on seeing backflips, I mean, we may be having a tryout every single week.
Now we've got a VR video review. Referee Andre Figueredo is over to have a look at it. What a start for Naomi Clark. That's her 10th career goal between her time at Washington State. But 6 of them have arrived here in Norman so far for Matt Mott and the Sooners. Just dynamic, fast, tough. She strikes it well. She's a complete package, and as Matt Mott said, she's the fastest player on the team. You saw the athleticism on the backflip and on the soccer pitch. What do you think they're looking at here?
So it's definitely not the Kiefer when she receives this ball here. She's definitely on sides at this moment. They're definitely checking the Clark. She may be ahead of the play, but I think, you know, it's going to be a tough angle if this is the angle that they're watching, because it's just so far down there. I mean, I would be shocked if there is undisputable evidence that this goal does come back. But the Kiefer was totally on sides, and so I just think they're looking at if Clark just kind of got a little bit too excited and wanted to see that goal.
Looks like we have determination. So the Sooners lead 1-0. She was not offside. Oklahoma in practice at the beginning of the week for the first time this season had all 28 players on the roster healthy, with getting Cassie Clifton eligible, and I should say not eligible but healthy enough to play. And then they had a couple of players get a little bit beat up in practice, but all should be able to go tonight.
And that's what's going to cause Matt Mott problems. Now you've got all 28 girls healthy and that can battle every single practice. I mean, he has got to be going to sleep just happy and mad at the same time. Because he's like, man, who am I going to play now? He's had so many girls step up at the start of the season. But now you've got Clifton, who has played more than 4,000 minutes in her Sooner career. It's like, she knows she's going to come in and be like, Coach, I'm ready to go. This is my senior year. I want to get some playing time. And so that is a just horrible problem for Coach Matt Mott, but a blessing at the same time.
Yeah, that's a great problem. Lexi Dendis also getting an assist on the goal along with Kiefer. So for Kiefer, her 2nd assist of the season, and for Dendis, it's her 3rd. Dendis, she's been heavily involved as well, as has Kiefer. Lexi Dendis was the Conference USA Freshman of the Year last year. Same league she played in with Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs. And she transferred here to Oklahoma this year. Freshman of the Year in Conference USA at Middle Tennessee State.
She was one of the few Sooners that actually came in late. Most of the Sooners transferred arrived about the springtime, and that just speaks on how high they rate her, that when she came in late summer, she's already in that starting 11, and she's kind of just solidified her place there.
Washington around a pair of defenders, has an open look to try to feed Hadley Morrell. Cleared out for a Sooner throw in. There's Hadley Morrell having a great year. Matt Mott saying she has done everything but score this year, and it's probably coming in the not too distant future. Nicely intercepted on the back, but Oklahoma takes it right back away. Duffy will just play it at her feet. Working this ball toward Kiefer. Got a foul while the ball was in the air. And so the Bulldogs will get a free kick. Louisiana Tech's played a tough schedule. Mentioned they hosted Alabama. First time ever that Alabama has come to Ruston, Louisiana. They put up a pair of goals but lost it 6-2. And Steve Olds said a great showcase for soccer in their area of the country to have Alabama pay a visit. Oklahoma likely to pay a visit next year. And they're going to play Mississippi State in non-conference play as well, are the Bulldogs. He said players request. They wanted to play against high caliber competition.
You know, and with it being such a young team, I mean, that is so exciting that you've got this team of girls that are saying, hey, give us every challenge that you can schedule. I mean, because that speaks to program growth. They see the type of girl you're bringing in. They see that you're playing these top tier opponents. And now it's like, hey, that's what helps these programs grow. And so I think that's very, very good by the coaching staff there to say, you know what, we're going to give our girls some challenges and see what they can face.
Offside against the Bulldogs there. So Duffy will take a free kick. She's got 2 assists this year. What a weapon to have a keeper that can put set piece balls exactly where you want them. That was a big collision and a foul against Sirota from behind. She got into Sophie Morin there. And so the Sooners will take another free kick.
I've been extremely impressed with Morin this year. What she brings to the Sooners team is just a little bit of grit and a little bit of that just center defensive mid that the Sooners team needed this last year. I mean, she is not afraid to go into a tackle. And as you see there, she's not afraid to put her body on the line.
Yeah, as you said, toughness that she brings. Sophie Morin from Cheshire, England, transferred to Oklahoma from UTSA. Born in Belgium, lives in England, but her dad is Irish, so she has played on the Irish under-19 national team. Matt Mott's team with a 1-0 lead that's driven out of bounds. Brown will take a throw in here. No substitutions as of yet. Oklahoma with a goal from Naomi Clark, her 6th of the year. All the way across comes Kiefer. And out to Morin. Sooners will regroup. Ligon toward Clark. She heads it high and just a little bit wide. Softly down, and Clark so dangerous with her feet and her head.
And that just speaks to what kind of player she is. I mean, that's a beautiful ball in there by Ligon with her left foot. And I mean, she has just been scoring with both feet, her head. I mean, everything she is just seeing right now is just going on frame, and so she is just having an amazing start to her Sooner career.
This one, Peyton Wiseman, freshman from Springfield, who scored against Louisiana, comes to take it. And then a foul call as Drolet got dropped. There's Peyton Wiseman. Springfield Catholic High School, no doubt, will have a lot of fans here tonight. She's from Springfield, about a 4-hour drive, and they're going to play at Oral Roberts in Tulsa as well on Sunday. Oklahoma will be hosting the University of North Texas Mean Green Sunday night. Keeper Rutledge out to take this one on the Oklahoma half of the field. This one headed away by Pack. Oklahoma ready to roll. Washington took that throw in the blink of an eye.
I like the idea with the Sooners trying to go there quickly, but I don't think the whole team kind of had that idea as well. But you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to always say, hey, how can we get the ball and play quicker? How can we do things just an ounce quicker to kind of help this dynamic Sooners offense go?
Duffy going to let everybody organize a little bit here. She may be able to take this ball a fourth of the way down the field before she hits it. Trying to drop it over the top. And back to her counterpart, Cadence Rutledge, it comes. Oklahoma with a 1-0 lead. Sooners have outscored opponents now 17-8 on the season. They have had 8 different players score. Beg your pardon. They've outscored opponents 17-3 this year. 8 different players have scored. This ball will be taken at midfield by Sirota. And out of bounds. Oklahoma back the other way with a throw in. Sooners out shooting the Bulldogs 3-0 in the early going. Rutledge, under the pressure of Kayla Kiefer, has to get rid of it quickly. Dangerous to give a ball away back in your own end of the field.
And you see once again that all started from Clark just adding pressure. I mean, this Sooners front line is just not afraid just to say, hey, sometimes we may run just to run, but what it does is it causes defenses problems. I mean, anytime you are a defender and you see someone running at you, the first thing you do is you look at your feet. You look and see where the ball's at, and so now you start to struggle because now you don't know where anything is, and so then you just kick the ball to kick. And so that is what's different about this Sooners team than last year. You got some girls who are very willing to say, you know what, I'm just going to run, and it's going to cause some problems, and that's what I need to do.
Pack, a centering pass for Kiefer. Clark came to take it, but taken by Sirota. There's Washington. Sirota swipes it out of there. Pack keeps it alive for the Sooners, but now Brown will have to retrieve it. And a throw in right in front of the Oklahoma bench. Oklahoma this year 4-1 win over Creighton. Naomi Clark had a brace. Then she had another brace and a 4-1 win over Oklahoma State. 4-0 over East Texas A&M, and Juliet Rayo had a brace in that game. And it was freshman Elle Canty in her first career start coming up with a brace in the Sooners 4-1 win at Tulsa this past Sunday. 4 games, 4 braces. And Naomi Clark has 2 of them. She's already got a goal here tonight. This will be Dendis. Already has an assist tonight. A corner kick off a couple of heads. And Morrell takes it on the backside.
Beautiful ball.
Morrell, great hesitation. Morrell just wide left. Trying to sneak it just inside that left upright.
Morrell's going to be a little bit upset with herself here. She makes a beautiful move. Whoop, see you later. Now she's going right down. I think she has a little bit more time. She hits that back post. It's definitely 2-0 for the Sooners.
4th shot for Oklahoma. They lead 1-0. Weatherspoon tried to take it, but Dendis just runs right through it. Centering pass comes down. Morrell strikes it with her left foot. It goes off the back of Kiefer. And that looks like Pensum may chase this one down. Bulldogs just a tough time getting it to the Oklahoma half. Legan leads Dendis, who chases it down, sends it across, and Morrell was there lurking, but trying to stay on side. That went off of a Bulldog, and it'll be an Oklahoma corner kick from the far post.
So this ball takes a nasty deflection there off of Weatherspoon. I mean, that is a beautiful ball in there by Dendis. I mean, but it all starts with something different that the Sooners haven't done this year, and just try to play out of the back a little bit. And you saw there what a beautiful ball in. That's really unfortunate not to get a foot on it.
For the first time this year, the senior from Prosper, Texas, Cassie Clifton, is in. She's been battling an ankle injury. Off the corner, the Bulldogs able to get it clear. Morrell sends it to the backside, and just a little bit long and out of bounds. So having Morrell right in the thick of things, but Oklahoma glad to have Cassie Clifton. You mentioned it earlier. She's played over 4,200 minutes in her career. How does Oklahoma adjust things with Cassie Clifton out there, Nick?
I mean, we've talked about it before. You have two of your starting center backs you've been playing that are true freshmen. Now you bring someone in Clifton who has played more than 4,000 minutes, who has been there, who has played with some Sooner defensive greats. And she's going to bring this leadership and this composure that's just going to keep on helping this back line grow. It's an exciting time for the Sooners defense.
El Canty has also entered for the Sooners. As we said a moment ago, she had a brace in the Sooner win at Tulsa back on Sunday. And there is Canty right here in Norman Unity Christian School. Very highly recruited player. Oklahoma was having to fight off others to get this hometown player.
I mean, you're talking about a player who scored 105 goals in her high school career. I mean, it is very hard to score. And when you can do it 105 times, I mean, you're going to get looked at by someone.
"20 minutes left here, first half. Cadence Rutledge will let everybody matriculate back the other way. 23 saves on the year, had a shutout against South Alabama. And there's a foul on that contested ball. They'll get it on Weatherspoon, running into Hadley Morrell. Third foul against Louisiana Tech tonight. And this is one of those areas where Duffy becomes very dangerous. I was asking Matt Mott about this, and it's a weapon because you have another attacking player who can be in the play, but he said Duffy's also just really good at ball placement. It's not just having a big strong leg. She's good with her placement. Here's Clifton. Turning out with it is Madison Pensum. Endis over to take it. Weatherspoon marks her. Bulldogs just having trouble getting it out of their own end. And Clifton's going to send this one across. Dendis. Centering pass. Kiefer nearly got there, but cleared out.
And once again, you just see that Sooners pressure. I mean, right there, there's nothing La Tech could do. I mean, every time they try to play a pass, there was a Sooners player just right on top of them. I mean, and that's what leads to this very potent Sooners offense that we have.
There's Juliet Rayo on for Oklahoma. She had a brace in the Sooner victory over East Texas A&M a week ago. And Naomi Clark, who has the goal, will get a breather here at the final 18 minutes of the opening half. Louisiana Tech bringing some substitutes in. Annie Metter, sophomore from Denton. I think Marita Ehrig went back out. Marita Ehrig, fourth-year player who's had a lot of injuries and is a captain on this team, able to get some run in her second game of the season, but she's out now. Long throw taken by Pensum. Down to Ashley Leonhardt, who's from Dusseldorf, Germany. And Duffy will just beat everybody and start the Sooner attack the other way to Washington. Full head of steam. She draws three defenders, works around all of them. But out of bounds off of Alexis Washington there. Up to take it comes Pack. Glides around a pair of defenders. Centers that pass right into the middle. I thought they were going to call handball there, but it went off of Kiefer first.
I think they did call the handball on Kiefer there. I think the ball just came at just extraordinary pace. I don't think Kiefer was expecting it in the air. I think she was expecting it on the ground. I mean, just a beautiful bit of skill there by Pack just to beat her defender. And I think she was just expecting something a little bit low, and she just kind of put her hands up.
Sooners will get it right back with a throw-in. Relentless Oklahoma attacking. I mean, even this part has been a real challenge for Louisiana Tech. Getting the ball away from their own 18 box tonight has been tough.
I mean, if you're a La Tech right now, one of the things you need is you need just to have a little bit of composure. So what happens is when you get pressed extremely high, you've got to now say, hey, I'm a college soccer player. I'm really comfortable with being able to play the ball. And I've got to be able to do that in these moments. What's happening is the Sooners are living off of this fact that La Tech's getting a little bit nervous when they're touching the ball. So La Tech just take a second to breathe and say, hey, how can we string together 1 or 2 passes like they did in the first 2 minutes to really start to challenge this Sooners press?
Claire Curran has come on for Oklahoma now, the Colorado transfer. 15 minutes remaining here, opening half. Morrell earns a Sooner free kick here. She gets knocked down. 4th foul against Louisiana Tech in the first half. And a quick start, Alexis Washington. Now Louisiana Tech just can't get any attackers to run to balls like this. Brown ready to take a throw in, but first a substitution. Morrell comes off, and Luciana Ducate, who has a goal and a couple of assists and has really made the most of her minutes on the field this year. She's a Stony Brook transfer. Clifton. Here is Curran, who just came on. Top of the 18 box. Pensum there for the Bulldogs. Curran charges right past Drulay, and it comes now to Pack. Wide for Curran. Weatherspoon is with her. Curran to the edge, sending it across. Nobody home this time. Claire Curran out of San Diego, the former Colorado Buffalo, spent 2 seasons there. She's in her first at Oklahoma. Scored a goal in Oklahoma's opening night win against Creighton this year. Brown just runs through an attacking defender. What a beautiful play there by Pack to win it back. Brown, she's a defender. That was pretty good footwork for a player who normally plays on the back row, Nick.
I mean, she looked like she's been up there before, and that's what's just extremely scary about this Sooners team. So I'm going to do a little digging here for you, Chad, so you just got to bear with me here. Every sub that has came on so far, bar Clifton, has scored a goal for the Sooners team this year. If you're an opposing coach, how scary is that? And now you've got the Sooners defense doing offensive moves as well. I mean, this is something that has got to be a coaching nightmare right now, is that when the Sooners starters aren't scoring, it's like, okay, we'll just go to our bench who continue to score. I mean, right now, this Sooners offense is just running at 100% efficiency. That no matter what happens, they just find a way to make it work.
And oftentimes these players that you're talking about, Ducate and Curran, when she comes in, they're playing against opposing defenders who've been out there for a long time.
And so they've already worked their way into the game. I think we mentioned it the other day. Ducate scored within 2 touches. Her first touch, she won a corner. Her second touch, she scored. I mean, there is just things to this Sooners team that makes it really special to watch because they have the ability to do so much.
Decent chance for the Bulldogs, but it's going to be thwarted with an offside call. Right on top of it there, Andre Figueredo, our referee. As we move under 11 minutes left, Oklahoma ready to start with a quick free kick and transition the other way. Set to Ducati. Stop and start. Washington kind of caught leaning the opposite direction, and taking it away is Maeva Costanero. Duffy's just going to clear that out of bounds. It's a rare time that there's been a stoppage for a throw-in or anything on this half of the field.
And just like we talked about with the Sooners, I mean, when you have a little bit of pressure, it makes just players do things that they normally don't do. We talked about how great Duffy is with being able to play the ball, but just that little bit of press that Louisiana Tech had allowed Duffy to kind of make that just miss-errant pass. And so that is what this press does to teams, and that is what both sides are saying, hey, how can we get more of that going into this first half?
No foul there. Pack goes down, but she's back up, and the Sooners are pressing again. Seta Ducati wide for Curran. Weatherspoon with her. Curran trying to angle around her. To the edge they go. Seta Ducati drives one right into the arms of the keeper, Rutledge. Boy, Rutledge in perfect position that time, Nick.
You know, that was just a beautiful move there. Seta Ducati plays Curran just all the way out. And believe it or not, with the Sooners had 6 shots already, that was just the first save that they've had to make. And so, I mean, the Sooners need to get that little bit of firepower going towards goal a little bit more. But that was a beautiful first save that she had to make.
Out of the pack for the Bulldogs is Costanero. She's a sophomore from Montreal. Coach Steve Volz was a part of the Greater Toronto FC Academy a few years back. He's maintained those ties north of the border. Open is Kiefer, driving it left foot over the crossbar. Was it touched by the keeper, Rutledge? It was not. Just high. It'll be a goal kick, but another golden chance for Kiefer and the Sooners.
And this is what Rayo can do here. Just the vision to see that pass there. Beautifully weighted pass. I think she's a little bit unfortunate there, Kiefer, to have that touch kind of takes her angle a little bit out. But just like I mentioned a second ago, the Sooners have got to get, they've got 7 shots, but they've just got to start making Rutledge make saves. I mean, right now, Rutledge is being extremely thankful. She's like, hey, these shots really aren't coming onto my 18 and are coming onto my box, I guess you could say. And so if she can somehow, if the Sooners can kind of tweak it just a little bit to kind of put more balls on frame, I think you're going to start seeing some more saves, and you're going to start seeing potentially some more goals.
Madeline Gray works this one up the sideline. There's a hard tackle, well played. Just excellent defending that time. Lacanol so good as a freshman back there for Matt Mott and the Sooners. Played that one like a veteran, no doubt.
I think it's a textbook tackle there. Wins the ball. Yes, she gets the man, but the ball was first. I mean, that's just highlight you want to see if you're a defender there.
Taking that one from Abby Hansen. Scored against McNeese earlier this year. More substitutions here for the Sooners. Brenlin Mullaney. The Ole Miss transfer is in. Here's Rayo striking with her right foot, just wide. And she's crafty.
What a shot there. She is unfortunate not to see that hit the side netting. I mean, just a beautiful little bit of play there. Seta Ducati kind of holds it up, lays it across the Rayo. She lets the ball come across her body. Beautiful right-footed shot. Keeper had no chance. She just stared at that the whole way. That's what you can do when you kind of hit the ball correctly like that. And that was just a beautiful shot. Unfortunate to not see the back of the net. Rutledge excited that the ball just went wide.
Canty heads this one toward an attempt there toward Clifton. Laid out briefly by Mary Helen Buford. And Oklahoma attacks and earns yet another corner kick. This will be the third. There is sophomore from Shreveport, Mary Helen Burford. As we said, she was a walk-on and played 90 minutes all in 7 games last year. Just a steady Eddie player for the Bulldogs. Matt Mott's team's got a chance here. Michelle Pack will take the corner, dropping it right into the middle of the goal box. Punched first by the keeper Rutledge, then cleared, and a foul will send us the other way. I mean, you couldn't put it any more centrally located in front of the goal.
I think it's a beautiful corner kick there by Pack, and you can see what they were trying to do there. Really just kind of put pressure on the keeper to not allow her to come out, and it caused the keeper to kind of bobble the bar a little bit. A little bit unfortunate not to get something out of that corner.
Another thing that's made Oklahoma so tough to handle, they lead the SEC. We mentioned in shots and goals. They also lead in corner kicks. 36 of them now. That's, you're talking about 8-9 corners per night. A lot of chances, and they've scored off of numerous ones.
And that is, I believe, with the program record. Last game against Tulsa, I believe they had 15 corner kicks against Tulsa. I mean, they're just relentless pressure, and you're seeing the benefits of that pressure.
What a pass. Rayo right in the middle that time to Mullaney, and another nice play by Rutledge. Juliet Rayo putting it right on the cleat of Mullaney.
I mean, Rayo once again, just a beautiful pass. Just an unfortunate touch there by Mullaney. I mean, if she can take that in with her left foot when she's in stride, that allows her to set herself up so she can finish with her right. She tries to take it with the outside of her right boot there. A little bit unfortunate not to have the goal. And so, yes, it looked like she was trying to pass, but I think she just took a heavy touch there. But once again, Rutledge coming out big, scooping up the ball. I mean, if Rutledge would have stayed on her line, then it definitely would have been 2-0 for the Sooners. So kudos to Rutledge for seeing the pressure.
Curran drops it back out to the top of the 18 for Mullaney. Now Pack has a look at it and hits it over the top of the crossbar with under 4 minutes left in the first half. Oklahoma's dominated this thing, Nick, but it's only 1-0.
And if you're La Tech right now, you are just extremely excited because the Sooners have had so many shots. I think that's the 9th or 10th shot, but nothing is really challenging your keeper. And so La Tech says, hey, we may have a chance to get in this game if we can get a corner kick or a long throw in. And so that's something that they're saying, hey, we've only got about 3 minutes till halftime. If we can end this just being down 1-0, then they're going to go into halftime thinking, hey, we've came into a hostile territory. Now we've just got to have one moment of magic and we can change this game.
Mullaney steals that pass and attacks. Brenlyn Mullaney slipped as she hit that ball, and a fairly routine pickup there for Rutledge. Brenlyn Mullaney has been active since she came on. Played for Matt Mott at Ole Miss in 2022, then stayed for a couple of years before transferring to Norman this year. Matt Mott, former head coach at Ole Miss, and he faced Steve Volt's Louisiana Tech teams there, so they have that history and respect between them. Mullaney steals this pass. He's just been lurking. If you are a little careless with it, she will make you pay. Mullaney trying to work this one across. Able to clear it is Mary Helen Burford. This is Clifton. Now Curran. Curran back and forth, gains the advantage. Here's Brown. Serving it in with her left foot. Curran can't quite reach it, and out it goes. Naomi Clark with a goal in the 11th minute is the lone tally either way. 6th goal of the year for Clark, 10th of her career. Riley Brown here has played the entire opening half. Oklahoma out shooting Louisiana Tech 10-0. Probably should have another goal or two.
And that's the second really good ball that Brown has got to play in. And so I think that's something different that the Sooners haven't shown for the first few games of the season, is that now they're playing these balls in from deep rather than trying to play them across. And so I think one or two of these balls in the second half, you're going to see Brown get connected to, and you're definitely going to get to see her on the assist sheet.
Under a minute left. Mullaney and Clifton here. Cassie Clifton seeing her first playing time in 2025. Now Canty. Senator Ducate back to the left. And that one hit by Clifton. Just kind of flutters into the arms of Rutledge. Rutledge may take as much time off of this clock as possible. She's been under heavy pressure. Pack comes out for the Sooners. Duffy, I think, will just be able to run the rest of the clock out. And Oklahoma will take a 1-0 lead to the halftime locker room. Sooners trying to stay perfect, ranked number 20 this week. They are 4-0, 5-0. Would be the first time since 2002 they have had a 5-0 start. And one half in the books. They are on their way toward that 5-0 start. Visit with both head coaches here at halftime as Sooners head in. A goal by Naomi Clark, assisted by Kayla Kiefer and Lexi Dindis. The lone tally for Matt Mott and the Sooners. They'll make a few little tweaks, but the opportunities have been there for the Sooners in the first half. We're going to be joined now by Louisiana Tech head coach.
Electric of this half.
I would agree. The Sooners trying to get charged up over there as they huddle up. Naomi Clark, the lone goal in this one. It came in the 11th minute. Assisted by Kayla Kiefer and Lexi Dindis. And there's Naomi. 5 goals now. Tied for first in the SEC. And she hit number 6 earlier tonight. What a season she's had. 2 braces this year. One against Creighton, one against Oklahoma State. There you see the numbers. Naomi Clark with those 6 goals nationally, now 3rd. It brings her up to. Sooners will have first touch to start half number 2. Juliet Rayo remains out there. She was a substitution in the first half. Just about everybody else who started is back out there. There's Mary Helen Burford, defender on that back line for Louisiana Tech. I think we're just about ready. Just waiting for the word from Andre Figueredo. His word's the only one that counts.
And it looks like Rayo stayed in there for Pack, so that's almost a like for like change there in the midfield, because they both seem to have that ball just on a string there. And you already, once again, you see the directness like we were mentioning. Alexis Washington already trying to get to the end line.
The other way it will go, though, with a goal kick. See if Louisiana Tech can mount much offense. Steve Oltz said he's really happy with the cohesion of his team, but in their last game against South Alabama on the road, they lost it 2-0. He said really felt like for the first time that some of his younger players hit a wall in that game. Still look fresh out here tonight, and they're in it, trailing Oklahoma 1-0. Throw in taken by Reagan Roberts, freshman on the back line for Prosper, Texas for Louisiana Tech. Sooners ready to start the other way with it. There's Roberts just kind of sending that one toward goal. No on-running attackers for the Bulldogs. Kind of got Grace Clay back there, but nowhere in the vicinity of Duffy. Duffy was not required to make a save in that first half as she drives this one away. Clark just barely got a piece of that ball. Angling up comes Pensum, laying it across, but nobody home, and Rayo trying to work it away for the Sooners. This will sail out of bounds. It's kind of wildly hit by Shawnee Sirota. Caroline Duffy, the senior from Clarksville, Maryland, transferred to Oklahoma from Duke, where she spent 2 years. Mom Linda was a collegiate soccer player, as was her dad Patrick. Had a great summer playing in the USLW in Maryland after winning 10 matches in goal for the Sooners last year. Dendis serving this one in beautifully, and that will trickle out. Sooners will get a corner kick. Trying to work that one toward Kiefer.
Sooner Nation, get those ones in the air. It's a corner kick. Oklahoma.
Fourth corner of the night for Oklahoma. This will be number 37 on the year, leading the SEC in that. And Dendis will take it.
And you can see they're setting up in almost the same way, trying to put this ball right on top of the keeper. And so I expect to be a lot of play right inside the 6-yard box.
It's right in front of the goal box. We'll go the other way. Quick whistle there by the referee, Andre Figueredo. "13 of Oklahoma's 15 goals this year have been scored by newcomers. And one more tonight by Naomi Clark. She's got 6 on the season. Little ping pong here, and then a foul as Hadley Morrell goes down.
And these are the moments right now that I wish the Sooners would just go quick, and that's beautiful done. Just, took the words right out of my mouth. Coach Matt Mott is saying, hey, when we let this team, he mentioned it when we came in from break, they're just sitting in this low block. And so how do you beat that? Don't let them get set up. And so you've got to just go that much quicker to try to give your team a chance to score.
Brown driving that one in, and Clark gets her head to it, but Rutledge just takes it in calmly and heads the other way. Ali Lacanol taking that one in. Dendis couldn't quite get there, so Louisiana Tech will throw it in. Steve Boltz, the head coach, waiting for somebody to come take the throw in. His team motto is "earn the right." That's on their pregame warm-up jerseys, and that means do all the little things. Little things will add up to earning the right to do everything. His team right in this game as Brown hits that ball out, and the Bulldogs will get another throw in. Now 5.5 minutes into the second half. The only goal came all the way back in the 11th minute. Madison Pensum and her Bulldogs are right in it. It's what you talked about, Nick, with that long throw in. It can create havoc. Close to it was Sirota that time, and Oklahoma left with no choice but to just clear this ball out.
This is something that when we spoke to Coach Voltz, he mentioned just having this in your arsenal. It's just tough to deal with because you don't really see it a lot. So this long throw is definitely something that if you have it, you've got to use it.
From over there, it's almost like a corner as Clark runs through this ball. Morrell gets the centering pass. Hadley Morrell Drops it beautifully inside, and Kiefer puts one home. Beautiful execution by the Sooners. 2-0 Oklahoma. Just a gorgeous pass in there by Hadley Morrell. Kayla Kiefer scores for the second time this year, and it's 2-0 Oklahoma.
What a beautiful pass there by Morrell, but this touch, it takes the ball away from her so the defender cannot come and get it. She slots it right back across goal. Goalkeeper stands no chance. Much better there from the Sooners, and what a finish by Kiefer there.
Morrell and Clark both will get an assist. And for Kiefer, her second goal of the season. 7 career goals when you count her time at Ole Miss. And that's more of the finishing that Matt Mott wants to see here in half number 2. What a season Hadley Morrell is having, getting the assist there. Everything but score so far. Now the Bulldogs need to find a way to answer and just put some pressure on Oklahoma.
You know, if you're the Bulldogs, one of the things you really have to worry about is that every game for the OU this year, when they score in the second half, they score in bunches. It's not just one goal. You know, normally it's 2 or 3 goals just back to back to back in about a 5-10 minute span. And so it's got to be extremely important if you're La Tech in this second half to say, hey, we've got to kind of control the game. Now with the Sooners, you got to say, hey, how can we now, we've seen the ball hit the back of the net, can we just play that much quicker? Can we get the ball going? We finally got the shot we wanted. How can we capitalize on it?
To your point, Oklahoma scored 3 goals in 6 minutes in the second half against Creighton. They scored 3 goals in 10 minutes against East Texas A&M, and then the other day against Tulsa, they scored 2 goals in a 3-minute span. That one hits the upright, and they are denied 2 goals in about a 1-minute span right there. As Rutledge is barking at her teammates, Morrell proving dangerous on the backside one more time.
And what a beautiful ball in there by Rayo. Morrell does everything right, just like we've kind of talked about. She does everything but score. She is just having an unlucky time there. I mean, but that is a beautiful bit of play there by the Sooners.
Rayo has had some real thread the needle type of passes tonight. Here comes Peyton Wiseman. Who's going to win the foot race here? Nicely done by Dendis to take it for Oklahoma. Louisiana Tech will get a throw in. We got a substitution waiting to occur for Mississippi State. That's Abby Hansen. Had a good goal against McNeese earlier this year, freshman out of Park City, Utah. And an early breather here for Grace Clay. Up front here on offense. Maybe get some fresh legs in there. Nice ball goes off the back of Clark. She was trying to take that in over her head like a receiver, catching a long pass.
Sooners are extremely unfortunate there. I mean, Clark does exactly what she does best. Just say, hey, I know that Morin can play the ball there. Just so unfortunate to kind of have that ball hit the back.
Roberts plays this one long, but nobody's home. And the keeper Duffy easily out to collect it. 10 minutes into the second half. Oklahoma goals by Naomi Clark and Kayla Kiefer. 18 total goals on the year. They've outscored their opponents 18-3 in 4.5 matches. Morrell able to steal that one. Here comes Kiefer. Left-footed drive just wide of that post. Nearly another for Kiefer.
Beautiful bit of skill here just to go to the right left shuffle. Boom, puts it on her left foot, sets it up perfectly. And just kind of like the Rayo miss in the first half, I mean, just stuns the keeper. Nothing that Rutledge could have did there. Kiefer scored in her last game against Tulsa, and you can tell she's kind of got the itch to keep it going. And so I think that's what the Sooners were talking about, just saying, hey, if we can find her, you know, just get her going a little bit, you guys are going to be impressed with what she can bring to the table for the Sooners team.
She was itching to get that goal. Here's a chance. Drolet, though, serves it wide. One of the few chances that, beg your pardon, that's not Drolet, that's Peyton Wiseman serving it wide. She scored against Louisiana.
Subbing onto the pitch for Louisiana Tech, number 10, Ashley Leonhardt.
We'll see. Ashley Leonhardt running back on. Yeah, you were talking about Kayla Kiefer. A lot of pressure on herself to score first 3 games, and then got that penalty kick goal against Tulsa. And Matt Mott was talking about her. Some of those players that you have to tell him, whoa, whoa, whoa. Skip Johnson, the Oklahoma baseball coach, has a saying. He says, I would rather have to tell a horse whoa than giddy up. In other words, it's easier to back them off than it is to try to motivate them. And Kiefer is one of those players that you sometimes have to say, now, easy now. And Matt Mott said that her teammates almost didn't know how to handle it when she first got here. You know, going after it in a good way, aggressively in practice. But it didn't take them long to realize how beneficial that her ways are and can continue to be.
And it's going to sound crazy, but when you're a striker, when you're someone who is in front of goal, you kind of have to be like that. I mean, she was upset with herself in the first 3 games that she wasn't kind of seeing the back of the net, but that's what she expects. That's what she says, hey, this is who I am. You know, my team has put me in a position to where I'm in front of goal. I have to score these goals. And so, yes, she was just kind of a little bit hard on herself, but that's what best strikers do. They see that every moment they should be going out there and scoring 10, 15 goals a game. And so she held herself to that standard. And the bad thing is she had so many moments where it's like, man, Kiefer is all over the place making the pass. And so she's doing so many things right. She was just unfortunate not to see those extra goals.
Now Clark sends this one in. Sooners dangerous, threatening one more time. And there's Cadence Rutledge to pick it up. Time Clark got out there on the flank, trying to set up a teammate. Rutledge steps into that one. Brown, though, there to send it away for the Sooners. What a good defender Riley Brown has been for Oklahoma, transferring in from Washington. Sooners getting some reinforcements on the back line with Cassie Clifton able to play tonight for the first time in 2025. Washington nearly was able to take that ball the other way. Reagan Roberts ready to whip this throw in. Oklahoma just making everything difficult. Now Hansen will take a turn. Sirota takes a drive at it, well wide of goal. Shani Sirota, we mentioned she's from Israel. This is the 3rd stop in her collegiate career. She was at Creighton and then Akron. Played at Creighton with her sister, in fact. She began her career back in 2023. Dendis can't quite run that down. Oklahoma out shooting Louisiana Tech 16-1 tonight. But just a 2-0 score. And it'll be an Oklahoma throw in. Rayo maintains it at midfield. Dendis could not quite get to it. Look at Rayo. So nifty. Stopping and starting on a dime. Nice ball that nearly got through. How did Morrell get that ball? Down to Kiefer, turning and firing across nearly to Clark. Washington still on it. Morrell just over the crossbar.
That's all set up by Morrell there, but what a pass that she makes. I mean, she's kind of just jumping in the air. She's just flicking this with her right boot there. I mean, just a beautiful pass there. You see Kiefer plays it ball across the box there. Only thing I would have loved to see about that is just Washington get a little bit more aggressive. You could tell she was kind of playing there for the pass. I would have loved to see her take that ball and maybe try to be aggressive herself.
Is that something she could do a little more often? Just be a little more selfish? I know you don't necessarily want to tell a player, hey, be more selfish, but do you sometimes?
You know, it's one of those catch-22s for Washington because, you mean, she is the Sooners' all-time leading assist leader. And so she knows how to make a pass. But I think in that moment right there, you know, everyone was expecting her to pass. I think if she can just say, hey, if she even just shows the fact that she may shoot once or twice, it opens up her game a little bit more. And so in that moment, I think yes. But, you know, it's hard to tell her because she's just so good at what she does.
Sirota trying to work that ball up the sideline, but a little too far. Bulldogs get a throw in. About 27 minutes left in this one. Look at the SEC, and Oklahoma still has a couple of non-conference matches left. They have North Texas, they have Omaha, and then it's into SEC play. There are 7 SEC teams ranked, including the Sooners this week. You've got Tennessee at 2, Arkansas is 8, South Carolina 12. Amongst them, this one free and just wide. Well, that was a golden opportunity. You almost feel like the Bulldogs needed to take advantage of it. Might have had offside anyway, but a chance there for Abby Hansen, who was close to her second goal of the year.
You know, one of the things that just goes unmentioned when you're a goalkeeper and when you haven't had a lot to do, that her reaction speed. You see Duffy there just coming out quickly. We call it Duffy's Kingdom because it's just everything in there she can control and she just kind of collects. But sometimes as keepers, when you don't have a lot to do, you get a little bit stagnant, you get a little bit of lazy. But the second that ball was there, she was ready to pounce on top of that, and she makes the attacker think about that, and I think that's what causes the miss there, whether it would have been offsides or not.
Duffy's Kingdom has not had many invaders tonight. No saves officially required. And this plays another one toward Morrell, and the header is home. What beautiful soccer. 3-0 Sooners. Hadley Morrell has her first goal of the year. You knew it was coming, close on numerous occasions, but none much more beautiful than that one off the head.
You know, and there's nothing that the goalkeeper could have did there. That was just a beautiful cross there by Dendis. She plays this ball in, and I mean, just boom, playing the ball right across goal. I mean, keeper's at full extension, barely gets a touch on this, and that is just a beautiful header of the ball there. Boom, nothing keeper could have did. And Morrell, she had been knocking on the door all season. Now she finally gets on the score sheet.
It is the first goal of the season, the 8th career for Hadley Morrell. And another assist for Dendis. She's got a pair of assists on the night, one on the Clark goal and now this one. And Morrell has a goal and an assist on the night. Sooners comfortably ahead 3-0 with 26 minutes remaining. And again, here's those goals in bunches. 2 goals within about a 12-13 minute span, Nick.
And that's just the Sooners, once they kind of see the ball hit the back of the net, the next 5-10 minutes, there's something different about them. They kind of have that, oh, you know, we're catching the opponent on their heels, which allows them to kind of score in bunches like they do.
Sharks smelling blood in the water, as they say. Looks like Alex Drolet, the freshman from Quebec City, Quebec, is all right. Kind of walking that off. Alexis Washington's going to get a breather here. And back on for some run is Claire Curran. Brown sends this one across the 18 box. And it will roll out. That goal by Morrell, we talk about the Oklahoma newcomers doing all of this scoring. Sooners now for the season, 19 goals, 16 of the 19 scored by newcomers. Morrell has 1 and Rayo has 2 for some of the holdovers. Oklahoma freshmen and transfers have just elevated this roster for Matt Mott and his staff. And recruiting's such a big part of it. Matt Mott's staff retention with Richard Beebe, Jessica Hiskey, and Warren Russ being there for all 3 of his seasons, and them having been together at Ole Miss as well. That is a big part. Consistency in everything. This one cleared by Costanero. But Duffy will charge out, blast away for the Sooners out of bounds. Oklahoma has a home football game. Those are big for recruiting, but talking with Matt Mott about that, so much of soccer recruiting is done before you even really get to the fall. Nick, and you being in the coaching world as well, you see the fresh faces for both of these teams. 18 for the Sooners. And Louisiana Tech, it's not just the freshmen, but Louisiana Tech, 18 of 25 players are either first or second year players for them. But a lot of soccer recruiting is done before the soccer season begins, isn't it?
One of the things that's kind of crazy is that across the United States, soccer is played both in the spring and fall. And then you have club ball that is played year round. And so most recruiting is already done. So if you would ask Coach Matt Mott, he would say that, there's a chance we may have our class done, but they're always going to, take those, they're always still going to be actively looking for players and trying to find that diamond in the rough. But that's what makes college soccer so difficult, is that you have, we just saw that graphic there. Both teams had only 4 returning starters from this past year. I mean, you could come in and you could completely change your whole team. And so you don't know what you're going to get week in and week out.
But Oklahoma's getting consistency. That's a word that Matt Mott has used many, many, many times since arriving at Oklahoma prior to the 2023 season. Consistency. And he said, you have to answer the question from time to time, why has Oklahoma not been better in the past at soccer? And he said, just need consistency. Oklahoma is good at everything, and soccer can be as well with consistency. And he's provided that. Clark sends this one toward the keeper, Rutledge, who comes out.
And we call that drinking the juice. I think the coaching staff and everything around Coach Matt Mott has really bought into his system, and that allows the players to buy in. And so when they're going out recruiting, they know exactly what kind of player they want. They want these athletic, these strong players who can really play in the system that they've chose. And that's why, even though you may play freshmen or you may play these transfers, they're having success because they've already been pre-recruited, saying, hey, we want this X type of player, which has really helped the Sooners. And that's that consistency that he's been asking for.
Morrell brings this one wide for Curran, who will drive it across. Clark could not quite step to it. And the Bulldogs mount a counter threat here. Unable to work this one to Wiseman. Brown the other way to Curran. 21 minutes left, and the Sooners will be able to take a corner kick. That one ricochets off of Abby Hansen out of bounds. Corner kick number 5 on the night coming. You see the Sooners will bring Ashley Tutis into the game. Lydia Daniels in for the first time tonight for Louisiana Tech. And we also see Annie Medor. She's a sophomore from Denton. Here's Pack to take this Oklahoma corner kick. Right in front of the goal box and headed over the top. Believe that was Kiefer who got up. Oh, I beg your pardon. I should have known it was Legan, the tallest player on the roster, the 6-foot freshman from Jenks High School. Nice to bring a 6-foot player out of your back row in for those corners.
I mean, and the Sooners have had a whole lot of them, so that's something they've worked on this season. They're saying, hey, we've got height this year, we've got some athleticism this year. When we speak to Coach Matt Mott, he says that Kiefer is one of the highest jumpers on the team, and so they've got a little bit of difference back there. And so now they said, hey, how can we just figure out to make it work?
Morrell to the foot of Seta Ducate, who tries to just sweep a roller in, but up to the task is Cadence Rutledge.
I think if you're Seta Ducate here, you see that she just tried to place this ball. She tried to put it across her body. I think in that instance, I would have loved for her just to power the ball across goal and just to make something happen there. She tried to be a little bit too finesse with it. I think next time when she gets that ball back, you'll see her kind of put a little bit more power, and maybe you'll see that ball hit the back of the net.
Clark takes this ball away. Seta Ducate lurking, got her foot to it, but a little wide. She has been as dangerous in her minutes this year as just about anybody out there for Oklahoma, Nick.
We mentioned it earlier. In one game earlier in the season, her first touch, she won a corner. Her second touch, she scored a goal. I mean, she is just a different type of forward than Kiefer and Clark. What she really brings to the table, she brings a really back-to-goal center forward. So she wants the ball played to her feet, and she has a beautiful touch, and she can just control anything that they kind of play at her. And so it allows the Sooners to kind of change up mid-game with just a different player. And so that's what makes this attack so vibrant.
You saw El Canty has entered the lineup for the Sooners here late. Layla Thompson transferred from North Florida. Throws it in for Louisiana Tech. We had a foul on the throw-in there. I just saw out of the corner of my eye Legan go down. She had a little entanglement with Abby Hansen. Hansen saying, hey, she grabbed me. I was only retaliating. They always catch the retaliation, don't they, Nick?
As coaches in soccer, we have this saying, say, it's not the first one, it's the second one. Refs, this is one of the few just games that you play that one ref has to really watch 22 people. You think of football, you think of all this. You've got multiple officials on the side. You've got one ref that has to somehow see 22 different players at the same time. And so they normally never see the first one. It's always the retaliation or the silly little push down you see. And so that's why, a little bit unfortunate there. But, that is soccer.
Andre Figueiredo's done a good job of being in charge of things. This is going to come clear to Tutis. Back and forth, right-footed strike into Seta Ducate. Swipes with her left foot. Cleared. It'll be a throw in here for Louisiana Tech. We're talking about Oklahoma's schedule in the SEC. Tennessee, Arkansas, South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt are the other 6 SEC teams that are ranked. So Oklahoma has to play Tennessee, Arkansas, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. They've got 4 of those other ranked teams that you see highlighted. And it is brutal. And, there's no real great way to schedule with an unbalanced schedule. In the transfer portal, a roster can change so rapidly from one season to the next. It's just luck of the draw, really.
I mean, just like we saw last year in the SEC, no one was expecting Mississippi State to be as good as what they were. And then they ended up winning the SEC. And so this transfer portal can change your team from a pretender to a contender.
Tennessee's been good. They are a contender nationally. And they've already got 2 top 5 wins this year. They haven't allowed a goal coming into tonight. That's a foul against Louisiana Tech as Tudis goes down hard. See if Oklahoma wants a quick start here or if they'll go with a more traditional service. Looks like it'll be more traditional. Clifton, you know it's got to feel good for her. This will be her first time to hit a set piece on the season. Coming back tonight after missing the first 4 games with injury. What we got there, Nick?
So she just asked for space. So you're not allowed to come more than 10 yards to the ball. And so sometimes if the defensive player is getting a little bit too close, you can just ask the ref, say, hey, I just need a little bit of space. You know, if you're too close, there's not a chance for you to be able to play the ball in.
Loose ball in front of the goal. I was just wondering what the object was that he threw down there. Just a little beanbag.
So that is a very controversial topic through all of soccer fans. We call that the invisible spray. And so it's just a clear foam that you can play. So that way, you know, back in the day, they would just say, hey, this is how far you're supposed to stand. And of course, like I just mentioned, you've got, you know, a one ref trying to watch 11 or 22 people. And so they would just inch forward. So now they have this invisible spray that they call it that say, hey, don't pass this line. And so does nothing to field. It's almost like shaving cream.
So you dot it up in front of the ball and then you dot it up 10 yards away from the ball. But it's up to the official to determine how far 10 yards is. And I don't see any yard markers out there.
And that's the problem because, you know, for some refs who are tall, their 10 yards are a little bit bigger than, you know, the shorter refs. And so it's just kind of the ref will decide that. But, yes, they do it in front of the ball and in front of the wall as well.
Corner kick number 6 for Oklahoma on the night. And it comes clear to Juliet Rayo. Pack stopping, starting. Clifton plays it in. And Curran will chase this down. Actually, it'll be Ligon just kind of dropping it in. And headed just a tad bit wide by Kiefer. Goals by Naomi Clark, Kayla Kiefer, Hadley Morrell tonight, and a 3-0 Oklahoma lead with under 13 minutes left. Sooners trying to go to 5-0 for the second time in program history and the first time since 2002. Kiefer angles back. That one is going to be out of bounds, caught by the keeper. And so Oklahoma will get a corner kick out of this. But first, more substitutions.
I think that was one of those moments where it was so close to the near post, the keeper had to make a save there. I didn't really see a deflection, and so as you're a goalkeeper, you'd rather be safe than sorry. And so, yes, you did give up the corner, but you potentially saved a goal.
Multiple substitutes. Jasmine Walia, who has been cleared after a hamstring injury, is on for the first time for the Bulldogs. And that one will be headed wide. And a goal kick coming. Oklahoma out shooting Louisiana Tech 24-1 tonight. 5 saves for Cadence Rutledge, but the Sooners have put 3 home in this game. And for the season now have scored 19 goals.
Subbed onto the pitch for Louisiana Tech, number 11, Madison Penson.
Just about everybody on the roster both ways will get a chance to play tonight. That's a good thing. Both these teams going to play on Sunday. Oklahoma hosting North Texas. The Bulldogs will visit Oral Roberts. This is Reagan Roberts, and now she touches it back for Metter. Rutledge will drive it away for Louisiana Tech.
It's beautiful little bit piece of possession there by La Tech. They finally said, hey, can we play through this Sooners press? And you see that they just moving the ball back and forth. So it's not really, you know, an attacking possession. They're really not doing much of the ball. But what they're doing is they're giving their team a chance to rest. They're now giving some confidence. So that way, when they see those moments, they can attack. You know, Coach Steve Volz would have loved to have that kind of possession in the first half.
Here's Kiefer, beautifully controlling this one. Seta Ducate is onside. Takes the shot, knocked down by Rutledge. And cleared. Out it comes to Reagan Roberts. Pensum is a little shaken on this play. She's down as Curran drives one into the 18 box. Here's Metter. And Pensum still down. Now they'll finally get the chance to attend to her. Had the entanglement out here with Ligon. That is the third-year player and captain from South Lake, Texas. Looks like she'll be able to continue. Ten minutes to go. Oklahoma able to steal it right back. Canty all the way across. Maybe a little too strong that time. This is an Oklahoma team that has gained speed and athleticism. They just aren't allowing many free runners to get past them. You see the closing speed there from Sophie Morin to stop that attempt up the sideline.
Just like we talked about in the first half, she's not afraid of a tackle. And that's something that this team has that's different than the previous Sooners team, is you just got someone who really knows their role in that field of saying, hey, I've got to stop this play. And so just like you kind of mentioned there, Chad, you just got players that are not afraid to say, hey, this is my job and I've got to excel for us to be successful.
And you're not going to be overtaxed. You know, you're going to get your opportunities and just try to make the most of them in your role. And that's becoming defined pretty early in the year for this Oklahoma team. Players have kind of settled into what they're going to do. Here comes Wally up. And just plays it too far out in front for Reagan Roberts. Bulldogs, who ask Steve Volz about culture and how he wants his team to play, and he uses the word fearless. Their schedule certainly has been that, facing Alabama, Oklahoma, and as we talked about, they still have one SEC team left on the schedule, Mississippi State, coming up on September the 4th next week. This is Tudis, right on point into the chest of Rutledge, who falls on it. Ashley Tudis, the University of Florida transfer, scored a goal earlier this year. She has battled injury, had an ACL injury that sidelined her all of last season. 26 shots now for the Sooners. And 7.5 minutes to play. Kayla Kiefer hasn't stopped. I mean, she's been full speed end to end all night. As you see, Oklahoma's upcoming schedule, North Texas, and then at Texas State before Omaha comes to Norman to close out non-conference play. And the Sooners will open SEC play in Lexington. Match up with Florida coming here to Norman. 4 ranked SEC teams. They'll play 3 ranked teams in a 5-game span: Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and then later on Tennessee. That will be a very testing stretch for Matt Mott's Sooners.
And if there is any silver lining there, 2 of those games are at home. And so you have to go to Vanderbilt, but you've got South Carolina at home, and then you've got Tennessee at home. And as we've previously seen, I mean, the Sooners can pack the stands. This place can get wild, and you know that Coach Matt Mott is going to say, hey, how can we make it our domain? How can we turn Duffy's Kingdom into Sooners Kingdom to where it is loud and where opposing teams don't want to come and play here?
They have been very entertaining to watch, scoring a lot of goals, high energy style, very direct. 3 more goals tonight. And I'm sure if they're being honest about it, should have a few more. I mean, 24 shots. Yeah, you'd like to have a few more. Here's Kiki Smith on. She missed last season with an injury. Transferred to Oklahoma from Washington State. She's missed a couple of collegiate seasons due to injury. And back on for Louisiana Tech comes Grace Clay. Oklahoma got on the board relatively quickly in the 11th minute. Naomi Clark, but then went 41 minutes without another goal. Didn't score the rest of the half. They've posted goals by Kayla Kiefer and Hadley Morrell in half number 2 to comfortably lead this one. That's Avery Jacobs, another one of the freshmen. 18 of 25 players on this roster are freshmen or sophomores. Morin wins that ball. Little organization has been better for Louisiana Tech here the last 5 minutes or so, including here as Costanero skips to the middle but then can't find a teammate. Costanero just trying to settle things. Just can't quite work that one ahead for Clay. And a goal kick coming here for Duffy. No official saves credited to Duffy tonight. You see the upcoming schedule here for Steve Volz. His Louisiana Tech team is in Tulsa coming up on Sunday. Then the final SEC team on the schedule, as they will go to Starkville on September the 4th. Hattiesburg September the 7th, and then Stephen F. Austin and Houston Christian as they hop into Conference USA play. They've been in Conference USA since 2013. But they'll be joining the Sun Belt no later than July of 2027. And Steve Volz said that'll probably change the schedule just a little bit. A few more conference games, and the look of non-conference play for them might be a little bit different.
But you know, you spoke about it when you talked about their schedule. The players wanted that, and that's so unique from a young team's, you know, perspective, is that they were asked to get challenged. And so that's what Coach did. He went out and said, you know what, you want some tough games, we're going to go find you some tough games. And so I think they've handled this adversity so far this season very well.
He then said, and kind of laughed, I think I may want to have a word with my scheduling guy. Who is him? This one trickles back to Cadence Rutledge.
You know, it's a tough thing as a coach to hear your players be so adamant, saying, hey, let's go challenge ourselves. But at the same time, as coach, you're like, we may get challenged, but, you know, where are those wins going to potentially come from? And so it's really just a a tough time as coach, because you're saying, man, I want to give the girls as much challenge as I can, but I also don't want to put us in a situation where, you know, we're not winning the games we need to be winning later on in the season.
First yellow card of the night handed to Grace Clay for that aggressive play. And it comes with a little under 3 minutes left. So Grace Clay handed a yellow there. Duffy will play it away. Yeah, the other side of it for SEC schools is a challenge as well, because the conference is so difficult. How do you amass a non-conference schedule that tests your team, you know, gains you some RPI points toward the NCAA tournament if you don't win your league, which is tough to do, but still keep your team confident and healthy? And Oklahoma does have the benefit of they're regularly going to play Oklahoma State, which will generally, now it looks like it could be both teams in the top 25 for a few years here, Nick.
You know, and that's something that I'm glad that I never have to deal with, you know, so I don't envy Coach Matt Mott there, but it's definitely a challenge, because you want to give your team a challenge, but you also want to put yourself in a situation where, you know, if the cookie doesn't crumble your way in the tournament, you're saying, hey, have we built ourselves enough RPI points? Have we done enough? Have we won enough good games so our team can get maybe that at-large bid? They can get a chance, you know, to go play. And so it's a really, I mean, you're juggling things there. You just, it's tough.
Final couple of minutes of this one. Oklahoma has been aggressive from the get-go. They've taken advantage 3 times on goals, but gotten away 24 shots on the night. They're headed to 5-0. Here's Clay, surrounded. That ball dropped out of bounds. Foul number 7 on the night against Louisiana Tech. With under a minute left, be interested to hear what Matt Mott has to say. We're going to visit with Hadley Morrell, I believe, in the post game. Hadley Morrell's had her first goal of the season tonight. She's also had an assist. Naomi Clark with another goal, and Lexi Dendis with a pair of assists for the Sooners, accounting for these 3 goals. Cassie Clifton playing this one long. She has returned for the Sooners tonight after missing the first 4 games. And final 10 seconds of win number 5 for the Oklahoma Sooners in 2025. Oklahoma, for the 2nd time in program history and the 1st time since 2002, will start a season 5-0. And Louisiana Tech falls to 1-3-1 on the season. Oklahoma will be hosting North Texas coming up on Sunday. That same day, Louisiana Tech will be in Tulsa to take on Oral Roberts. Good solid win. 3 more goals for the Sooners. And we'll hear from one of the goal scorers tonight, Hadley Morrell, when we return to Norman on SEC Network Plus.